hopping away. I've the finest wares in the land. Watch your back.
Holy, I missed the beginning of draft. All right, my bad. It's Thresh on 3. It's okay. The draft is already solved. It'll be Thresh on 3. Some days just gonna play like in Gwen or some. They'll ban Jax, and then they'll just play like some Mage on 4.
It's high chance. I think that maybe they play like Yasuo mid or something this game. MNS. C9 man, Blabber used to be the biggest Yasuo Gragas fan when he was playing in Academy.
Yeah.
When I played against him, they played that stuff like literally every game.
Wonder if they banned Yone here. Yeah, Blabber used to be the best Gragas player by far.
Yeah, he's a good Gragas.
Really insane at it. One of the few that can actually combo.
I mean, Someday just takes like Sion here, no? Doesn't he?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think they.
Yone?
I think they save top for last pick.
They're hovering Yasuo. Do you see that?
Yeah.
They'll pick Yasuo. I really don't think you can blind mid here. I think you need to go top. I 100% sure you need to pick top here. I think that's just so risky. I think they should lock in Yasuo now. They should just brawl mid from C9. I think they win 2v2 mid.
I was saying that they should just leave Someday like counter pick, because I don't think that, like, I don't know what Fudge is gonna play where Someday can't just like answer a Gwen or something and just turbo take over.
Yeah, no, it's also true. Yeah, I think that what are they gonna do? Is it Tryndamere mid?
I mean, that'd be pretty base.
Oh, it is. No,
I like it. Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be a mid trend. It's pretty good until it becomes not good, but it's good inside.
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ. I mean, this sounds hard in early game, but I guess yeah, you scale when you have like 2 items, you mega win.
That's definitely not the pick. Cassante is not it, I don't think.
That sounds hard.
Yeah, sounds really hard.
I mean, I guess you can yoink away the Tryndamere in the fight.
Well,
okay,
I mean,
well at least we got a spicy mid matchup.
I mean, if you were gonna just pick Cassante, just do. I mean, I guess they didn't want to pick it on R4 and then just have Fudge play like Jax or
Yeah,
Fiora
exactly.
or some.
Because everyone used to do this before in Tryndamere, but maybe Freak just debunked it completely.
Well, I mean, Gragas, back when I played Gragas, it actually was not the skilled Gragas.
Oh, he's sending it,
Wow, he just got absolutely hit on.
Oh my god, he just got crit.
Yeah, I mean, you can't miss your cues, bro.
Jesus.
You can't miss your cues if you're playing this matchup. Just got outplayed. I don't know.
Wow, how do you actually get solo killed here?
Look at his cues.
Work?
Look at his cues.
Okay, and then he
Takes the turret shot.
Okay, he
yeah.
deserves to die there. Yeah, okay.
But like he misses this Q, and then
yeah, okay, actually played that horribly. Yeah.
Yeah, he could like Q3. He should keep on running Q3 first, then take his E back during the Q3. Like, I don't know. He really played it terrible.
Oh, that was. Wait, you really don't all in there? You're really that scared of Gragas?
I guess so.
I mean, Gragas might just be faker.
I mean, Vulcan has a lantern too for the Elise.
How is Elise down one camp and Gragas is already based?
Because Elise went topside and then he went to bot crab and he's just dead again.
Yep, he has 6. That mid. He doesn't even need to. Oh, is he gonna use it? Nope.
No, he's got Q.
Oh, well, mid is completely over, guys.
Well, this game's just done. Jojo
That's
got
why I wanted them to
completely
counter
outclassed.
pick mid. That's why I wanted them to counter pick mid.
I don't know, bro. I feel like he's just not good at Yone.
I don't know, you're just a hater.
I mean, kind of. I feel like there's not many good Yone players, to be honest. Maybe Trinidad is just the best champion in the game.
has ult still, like.
Yeah, of course they fight this.
Oh, okay.
And they get a fucking mountain. FF.
You need some ability haste in jungle.
There's like no jungler that can actually go Roa. Everything is bad with it. Oh, that should be it. Where's Sven's DC'd? Sven's DC'd. Sven DC'd. Did you see it?
Somebody check him PC.
No, he actually DC'd. I'm like 100% sure he DC'd.
No, I think he was just not looking at bot now. He was looking at the dragon.
I know, bro. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Somebody check him PC.
I'm pretty sure he DC'd though, like mentally at least.
Oh, mid lane is just... This is just how the matchup plays.
That's actually really good. Wow, he played it really well.
Yeah, wait.
From Jojo.
Yeah, Jojo can kill him now, no? With this... He has lethal, kinda. MS will just peace, I guess. Blabber?
And he flashes out. Okay, the whole game just changed.
Well, now EG is just winning, I guess.
Inside secrets. Wait, look at Sven. Look at Sven. Where are we going? He's not look at him.
He's just looking.
Look at him.
He's not looking, bro. He's not looking.
Look at
no,
him.
of course not.
And then he
Oh wait,
presses
he
S.
actually stands still.
He presses S. That's actually the most reportable thing I've seen.
That's so respectable. I love that. Love that for Sven.
God damn,
Oh
that's
my
just
God, that
next
looks
level.
hilarious.
God damn. Oh, he flashed into it.
He should not die there at all.
Yeah.
Jojo Pion. That's illegal that he dies there.
Nah, I think you should get 1v1 by the enemy AD on mid.
Oh, maybe they have caught him here a bit.
Maybe they can catch Blabber.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Blabber.
looks a
It's
bit
definitely an
juicy
angle
here.
on Blabber.
He's gonna go left. Yeah, he's gonna go left surely. He wants to defend mid. Yeah, he's surely dead now. One tapped here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead. Wow. I mean, there's no counterplay. It's just good.
Oh, the
Sven?
ulti! Let's get it, Sven! Sorry. Sorry.
Bro, your microphone picked up like 0 on my stream, but you guys heard like
Like, no, I got too
you
hyped.
screamed
I'm
way
sorry.
too loud. Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. Like, I just see
My
these
stream
ults,
is
like,
very
they get me so unreasonably hyped. I don't know why.
Pretty sure your microphone literally broke. So maybe it's just OP for Cassante.
I don't know. It was crazy.
Oh, mid lane fighting. It's a ghost all in angle here, no? Wait, really?
Oh my
what?
god!
Hey, it's just dead, yeah. That champ is balanced, by the way, guys. Tournament is balanced.
I'm really happy that Jojo took the kill.
And it's gonna be the best mid lane in LCS.
His mechanics are very outstanding, and with the experience he's gaining from playing LCS games, plus the assistance he's getting from the C9 coaching staff, it wouldn't be a surprise. Wait, how fast are you supposed to read that? Okay,
That was Vega V2 tweeting from his alt account, by the way.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like I never see IE on Lucian. I see everyone just go Navarine no matter what.
But this game, you 100% just go Gale Force into oh my god, Inspired is just getting ulted. Wait,
oh
did they
my
just give him
god,
that
they
blue
gave him the
trinket?
blue trinket. Who did
Oh
that?
my god, Berserker, man, like 80 carries. Oh my god. Guys, Elise is repelled up. You don't put the blue trinket for
He
her
literally
to jump
just saved him for 0. It's like, I see this and I don't know, like, is it intentional? Are they griefing on purpose, or is there something that I'm fucking missing?
No, it's 80 carry brain. It's only 80
it's just
brain.
80
like,
carries are
no,
just built like that.
They're built different, yes, they are.
80 carries, that's what goes
Oh
in
my
their head.
god, now
Look
they're
at this,
gonna
look at
flame
this.
him on
Why
broadcast.
does he do it? The guy
They're
has
flaming
nowhere
him
to
on
repel.
broadcast. He's literally repelling to make 80 carries bait. He's baiting the 80 carries.
Look
You
at
have to
it,
do
dude.
it, you know?
Oh my god.
Oh, I want to see a cam of Inspired after that. He's probably gonna XD IRL. I don't know. I think in general, if the wave on bot is even in this type of matchup, you should just always go first. You know what I mean, Dom? Like when the tank matchup is the wave is even in the bottom. Like when the wave is here, whoever is first to the setup will just win the fight.
Well, some days he's dead.
Do you think so?
Maybe not. Maybe he gets
No,
W.
he's
Okay, but Inspired just got
Oh
one
my
shot
god,
by.
he got one shot, yeah.
Be careful.
Well, Jojo Pion has no ulti, by the way. He has no ulti.
What is going
Oh
on
my god,
here?
he knows this. He knows this.
What is happening here?
Shut down. Now the Nash is surely dead.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, and
Nash is
Soul's gone. Dude,
Yeah,
the game's
Nash
just
and
completely
Soul
over.
is gone, yeah. Jesus.
I mean, it's 30 seconds before, and this is when we're walking in. I am so sad watching this.
this is like the IMT game where the game just ends completely randomly.
Yeah, but like I had fun watching the last game because like I know the teams are not good, but these teams are supposed to be good. And then I'm just
they're good.
imagining like one of
Don't
these
worry
teams
about
is
it.
most likely going to MSI, if not both
they're gonna
these
go
teams.
MSI and Smurf it, absolutely. Correct.
And I'm just trying to imagine them playing against like whatever second seed comes out of LPL or LCK.
They're gonna Smurf on them, absolutely.
Like EDG, Genji, D+.
JDG, I think they completely destroy.
Yeah, I think they just on JDG.
I think they might, yeah. FBI is just like, I'm stuck, complete step
I like the
moment.
circles. It's like, yeah, this guy is
Yeah.
dying.
This guy is insane.
I needed it, bro.
Oh, they
Like,
one-shot him. Nice one again by
Okay.
Blabber.
well,
I
it's
think
over.
Jojo probably put the house on C9. If I had to guess.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, blind pick Yone looks really good here.
Yeah.
Into this guy that plays like 50 counters. Nice.
And the sign is 5400 health. Also, Blabber's doing the Q. He did actually missed it, but the Q in the wall. You know about that tech, right, on
Yeah,
Gragas?
yeah, yeah.
But people
can't
don't
see
use
it.
it at all, so. Oh, Eminence is completely sending it.
Yeah.
His flash still. Oh,
Oh, wait. Blabber should die.
oh, Blabberfish is, yeah, he's a bit step bro
Wait,
there.
is he
He got
really
movement
just...
speed from Nami?
I thought somebody was just going to sit there and ult him back. I guess not. Well, Inspire's just dead.
Inspired? Yep. Oh my god, Fudge is unkillable, by the way. Legit unkillable. Look at him, look at him. Oh my god, that's a chonker.
I'm surprised that Jojo didn't send it on MNS.
Fudge can't die though. He can't die. Oh, someday? Okay, this Lucian does 5 damage to the Cassandra as well. Oh my god, Flash Jojo
Okay.
killed on the Sonya's guy.
Fine. It's winnable.
Winnable, winnable. Just kill Eminence.
Yeah, you have
Get
to
him,
go
get
on
him.
MNS.
Oh,
MNS is dead.
Defend, I think. They defend.
Yeah,
It's
they defend,
The
they
bows,
defend.
the bows. The bows
It's
based
not the
defense.
boss, man. He's
No, no,
fucking...
no, he will devouse it. He will devouse it.
Yeah, he will. He'll
Trust
kill
me,
the whole
trust me, he will
Nexus
kill
from 3,000 health. Let's fucking go.
Actually, that Blabber ult could have ended in the game, but he just threw it for fun. Oh, it's another fight, but Fudge is unkillable once again, so... Okay, who
Okay,
kills this
Vulcan
Fudge?
Hook.
Oh my god,
Wait,
he didn't ult!
wait,
he didn't ult! He did the perks!
He did the
And the
perks!
Blabber's ult! Blabber
The
ult went to
perks!
Narnia!
Holy,
he put
the
the
perks.
Wait, now they're gonna get so much farm out of it.
Yeah, wait, they're gonna get... What
They're
are
all
they
gonna
get?
be like level 18 now.
Holy
That's actually unironically a really big throw, by the way. Now they get so much gold.
You can take the perks
Oh my god.
out of C9, but you can't take... Wait, no, wait, that's the wrong way. Wait, you can take... Wait, what? Pop. Get out, FF. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I give up. I give up. And there was some
There's a joke
potential
in
there.
there
Somebody
somewhere, but it's
workshopped that
too
one.
Yeah, it's too old. Too,
It's just
too
that we
late for the
forfeit it.
joke.
We forfeit it. It's too
Yeah,
obvious
I
of a
think just
joke.
go next joke.
We failed it. Right?
Treats chat smarter than Dom's chat. That's absolutely correct, yeah.
True.
The Nash is just gone. Okay, who kills Fudge,
Okay,
guys?
this is my favorite, dude. Let them have the Nash, and then...
Of course, you have
Yes.
to fight after.
Yes, and then fight after, and then
FBI,
also
20
Jojo
chakrams
just...
on Fudge and does 0 damage. Oh, he's sending it on Vulcan, really? Oh my god, look at Fudge. He's lit unkillable. He
Oh
can
my
1v5 walk into them.
God. You know who is killable? In Jojo, Jesus.
Vulcan. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This one's
Wait.
FBI is smurfing in Monk Megalo. Oh my god, MS with the L9 drift on Trinimir. Did you see that?
Jesus, man.
I really like this Aphelios build as well. Playing as the 400 armor Cyan with 7k health and goes for Zeal 4th. Respect.
Yeah,
Respect.
that's just true. I mean, I guess his argument is, well, I'm not killing him anyway, so.
You know, he's given the franchise and me personally like a lot of great memories watching him play. Won a Super Bowl, like I'll hold on to that forever. And sometimes you just kind of You know, it is crazy that it's.
How are you leaning right now at this exact moment? What do you think happened?
I think he's going to play for the Jets.
Okay, so that's Packers owner right there.
I think he's too good. He's just too good. And he said in that Aubrey Marcus podcast, like in 2019 or whatever,
when the floor came.
Yeah, exactly. When they went to the NFC Championship, and he still he didn't have stats that were kind of normal for his career. He threw 24 touchdowns and I think like 2 picks. And he said a lot of people were doubting him then, saying, "Hey, this guy's washed. He's done."
And then what?
He won 2 MVPs, and that's kind of what he said in that was he's like, after last year, like I know that I have more to prove, like, and I want to prove people wrong. So I just have a tough time imagining. Could he retire? Absolutely. I think he's kind of said, and you mentioned yesterday, like he's a different dude. Like he's probably at peace with what he's done in his NFL career.
He's made money.
He's made a lot of money.
Smart investments.
Exactly.
Like as a businessman, he's also good.
And like Greeny said yesterday, like he's one of those guys where it's not going to be you retire and then, oh, what am I going to do? Like he's going to be able to earn money off his name and what he's done for the rest of his life. But I think he's too good. It's not, he's not in a position where it's like I need to retire. He understands how good he is. And then you listen to what Greeny said about the Jets. Like that's a pretty alluring position to be in, where it's like, hey, if I go win a Super Bowl or take the Jets deep into the playoffs in the biggest media market in the world,
King
like
of New York, Joe Namath,
exactly.
still being like, hey, Monday Night Football, New York Jets,
Broadway.
Joe Namath is going to be on the sideline. And Greeny said he won like 3 games after he won that Super Bowl. And then I looked into it a little bit. Super Bowl stats. I don't know if
not great.
I don't know if Joe was the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're the king of it all. You said yesterday that you didn't think, or maybe it was 2 days ago. They've all been. Hey, time flies right now.
That's right.
But you said like you don't see him going out like that. Is that still how you feel? And with all the new news, and this is like, and I know you got a chance to do a radio show on Sirius with covering it every day. Like every new piece of information that comes, we have to address because we're covering stories almost, and there's a wave. It feels like it's gotten to the point where it's either retirement or Jets publicly by everybody. Now, Aaron has not said anything publicly to me. Has he said something to AJ?
Probably. We don't know.
We think he's always trying to deflect. What about Greeny's beat?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's doing all that type of stuff.
Talk about penis.
Well, how do you feel about the whole situation now that we've covered it here for 3 days, and a lot of shit has happened over the last 3 days?
Well, I feel the same, but the biggest point I'm getting out is the Jets haven't had had a different quarterback for the last 6-7 years. Yep. We haven't heard nothing about Woody flying 11 hours to see no other quarterback, and it's been really bad for the quarterbacks there.
True.
For him to get on this plane to go 11 hours, and me personally, I think I know Aaron Rodgers' pedigree as a player. There's no way he's going to leave the game after the season that they had last year.
That's the thing, like a lot of guys can't, not just quarterback position, but everybody. Everybody who wants to go out on top. Everybody thinks that they still have greatness. We thought Tom Brady was going to continue to chase the dragon.
Yeah.
Like forever, the greatness, the greatness, the greatness. And we were worried that what happened to a lot of the greats that we remember in our eyes, the final couple years, thank God, like history only remembers the bangers of the guys. But there's sometimes when you're living through it where it's like, okay, this is obviously a different form of this particular person. It is hard to stop doing what you've been great at for a long time. So let alone the fact that he is still great, but even that want to chase it, what you say to the pedigree of the athlete he is, humans in that realm are always chasing greatness, it feels like, right?
Yeah, and greats always watch greats. Everybody know what Tom Brady just did. I'm quite sure Aaron Rodgers sitting there in the dark room, just coming to and like, just seeing what Brady just did. Dun, 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 dun. Jets have one of the best defense in the league. They're very young, and they have enough offensive weapons for them to be contenders. So I think this is a no-brainer.
And who says they won't add offensive weapons? Right. Hasn't that been something that allegedly has been talked about in Green Bay for a long time? Like, hey, we'd like to add some. Can we add weapons? Can we add weapons? If Woody's hopping on a plane going all the way over there, has it been confirmed that, like, Woody did that without being asked? Like, he's like, oh, I'm going to do this? Has that been talked about at all?
Not
Do we know
really.
who set that up, how that went about getting set up?
I don't think so.
I don't know
It
either.
was Woody.
I would assume I'm coming to you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come
I think
talk to
once they got the okay from the Packers to like.
He's like, we're not zooming, we're not
Yeah,
FaceTiming.
fuck that. I'm going out to see him.
I got a big plane,
Right.
and we are on our way. That type of like dedication, it seems like.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think this was Aaron saying you have to come.
No.
No,
Of course.
at all. I don't think it was at all. So if Woody's willing to do all of that,
Saying by any means necessary.
you don't think he'd be willing to be like, also, there's a chance we can do this and be aggressive, and we know our time is right the fuck now. It's like, what an intriguing conversation all of a sudden in the AFC East.
Oh yeah, AFC East is screwed because if Rodgers comes, it's Rodgers' division. Like I know the Bills are great, their DC's gone, and two of their best players on defense are most likely gone on Wednesday. So when Rodgers comes, it is his division. And you talked about our Woody Johnson last year. It was the Dolphins and the Jets for Tyreek Hill. Like he has been aggressive to go get weapons to make.
Yeah,
him
I
better.
forgot about that.
Yeah, so like
He
he's
picked
gonna.
Tua, right? Because he's the most accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
his most
Jets had a
accurate-
better offer actually.
Yeah, they offered a better, but Tyreek Hill wanted to go to Miami. and-
Florida versus Texas, that whole Texas thing.
Yeah,
Well,
Texas.
and weather,
Right.
and Tua.
Yep.
Yeah, and we know the 11 hours, we know 10 of that was because Woody put together a 500-page report to explain why Johnson & Johnson did what they did.
Oh, the vaccine.
Bingo, yeah.
I would wonder if that came up.
It had to.
Had to have, right?
Especially now what we just, saw in the group chat yesterday. We know
All
it
right.
came up.
All right.
What was that, Connor?
There
I'm
is a
not
lot of
getting
shit
into it.
happening around that world, though.
Oh yeah.
Like we are not the people you should be taking information
Nope.
from, but you should go gather your own information on that whole front. Tone, whenever you think about Super Bowl contenders next year,
Yeah.
whenever you're thinking of the New York Jets, if Aaron goes, remember Aaron was going to go to the Broncos a couple years back.
Yeah.
He's going to go to the Broncos, and Broncos fans were like, "We're a Super Bowl team. You put Aaron Rodgers on this team," and we actually started to believe it a little bit.
Yeah.
We're like, "God damn, you're right. With those weapons, with the way that defense is, their special teams is good.
What?
You get a veteran quarterback in there, you can go on a run." So they got a veteran quarterback, and
Yep.
it went the complete opposite.
he's
It went the
broken.
complete opposite direction. Are we going to fall into that trap again? And is it worth it? I think it is with fucking Aaron.
100%. There was a sports book the other day who took 300 bets on Super Bowl futures. 220 of them were on the New York Jets to win the Super Bowl. So we
Oh, yeah, it was 1981 or something.
Yeah,
I
we are
remember
100% going to fall into that trap. Whether those people are right or not, I don't know. Does Aaron make the Jets a Super Bowl contender? For sure. I still think the Bills are the best.
that. AFC's tough.
Yeah. Very tough.
But I think it does. Like, the Jets have a really, really good team.
Imagine
Look at-
Brees Hall doesn't get hurt.
Yeah,
right?
look at the games they lost, too. It was because of how... they played the Jags late in the year, and Strafolsky had to come in, and they still almost won.
And the place was going bananas for Strafolsky.
Yes.
Man, they hadn't even met yet. They were
Yeah.
cheering for him. They were just hoping for something. And the Jags were, not the same old Jags
No,
at
they
that
almost-
particular time
right.
of the year.
Yeah, went to, Kansas City and lost by a touchdown. Like, they were in it till the end.
How about them getting Calvin Ridley back? Let's move to that, because that is an incredible conversation to be had.
Marvin Jones, Calvin,
ETN,
Zay Jones.
what?
I
Kirk?
don't know. This might
Ingram,
be
Christian Kirk.
That we might be talking about these wide receivers as one of the wide receivers group as one of the best in the
Yeah.
Down in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I think we put them in the conversation. Of course, the Bengals, Buffalo,
Chiefs.
Chiefs,
Because you're going to add Kelsey into that conversation.
Have
and
to.
now can we add the Jags in there?
I guess.
Hell yeah.
I mean, with the way, what we all just learned about Calvin in his Players Tribune
Yep.
article, I think everybody should read that. The way he reacted to the year-long suspension and how he responded and how he kind of looked inwards and fixed himself. This dude's going to be back better than fucking ever, it feels like.
Yeah.
Owned it completely. As former players, I think we all understand gambling on the game, what it could do, what it is, how it's viewed. So how the media and everybody was up, a year-long suspension for that when you're only given 4 games or 2 games for that. I think him, as the person that's been in the locker room, understands the integrity of the game being the most important thing for everybody's money. Everybody's money has to remain that way. It seems like he took it on the jaw and said, let's fucking go, and became a much better human. In his back, he's going to help them immensely down there. And you forget about how good of a fucking player he is when you sit out a year. You watch some of those highlights and stuff. He is a dog out there.
Yeah, he's an absolute freak. You talk about Doug Peterson. Like, they have an offensive coach, and, they traded for him last offseason. So you got to assume Doug Peterson during this season was like, hey, this play might not work against this defense because it's one of the best. Wait till we add Calvin Ridley into this entire thing and see how good this offense really is.
Go ahead.
Speaking, my biggest question about Calvin, because you sit out a year, you get them little tweaks, you get the hamstrings, you get the groin. I'm eager to know how much working out and how many drills have he been doing with guys pushing him and turning to make sure that he can last the whole
You're talking a little rust there too, game rust. Yeah, game shape different than like workout shape.
But I do know this. I know he a tough kid because I read the article about how he played the whole year with the broken foot.
Yeah.
But I want to see after a year can he tolerate the longer season? Because how many games we got now?
17.
17 games. So it's gonna be a challenge. But with all the wide receivers that they have, he can take his time.
Because he had success last year.
Rush him out there.
Joining us now is a man who I can't wait to get his opinion on this. He was a general manager in the NFL. He was an assistant to. He was a consultant to. He was in the coaching ranks. He's an author, a TED speaker, a podcast host, a live show host, an email newsletter author, the Daily Coach, which I still read every single morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Paisano, Michael Lombardi.
How are we doing?
I'm great, man. How are you doing? Real quick, to Pac's point there, and by the way, Pac-Man was talking about you earlier. You have fucking done everything in the sport of football except for play, right? Is that right?
Yeah, well, yeah. In college, I played not very well. I was a long snapper. You know, I was, you know, I could do that. That was the good thing. I played center and long snapper at Hofstra, but I was, you know, I started, but the long snapping is, you know, was my claim to fame, I guess.
I didn't know that. We should have done more research. The guy's a player too, obviously. Played the game, special teams and on offense. Obviously, the guy's everywhere. Loves football. What he just brought up about Calvin Ridley, both them may be having one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL immediately with him being added into it, and also game rust. Have you had any experience with somebody who either gets suspended a year or misses a year and comes back, and how do you kind of temper them back into the whole program?
Well, you know, let's start off with, I thought the trade that Trent Baalke made originally to get Ridley, I thought that was a great coup because that adds to the room, as you guys were talking about before I came on the air. I think they were a receiver away from being dynamic offensively. And with Ingram as now, because Ingram's a receiver as well, even though he's called a tight end, he gets cheated in the player association in terms of the designation. He's he's a receiver, like Kelsey's a receiver, but they're very skilled. And with ATN in the backfield, remember, when you're in spread, the back makes everything go. Because if the back can run and catch, it becomes a lot difficult for you to defend them. The back is the point guard. It really sets the tempo for everything. And when you have that back like ATN to go along with Ridley, who's a #1 receiver, I mean, this Ridley kid is good. Now,
and he's healthier. Hey, it seems like he's healthier than he's ever been, too. You know what I mean?
I think the year off's going to hurt. I mean, look, Le'Veon Bell took the year off, and it hurt him. He never was the same player. True. But I think what Pac was saying about getting himself back in shape and training and working hard, he's got a whole off season to do it, and he's young enough. I mean, this is going to be a really talented Jacksonville team, especially the second year in the system. Walsh used to say this all the time. The first year will teach the players the system. The second year will develop their skills in the system. This Jacksonville offense should take off.
Yeah, and the thought that Doug Peterson's the right guy to do it is the right one, too. And he's got some motive, He's got some motivation with what happened out of Philly, right, Doug Peterson? Kind of, they win a Super Bowl, build a statue, and then we go our separate ways just out of nowhere. And Philly has success afterwards, you know? Doug Peterson, former player, competitor, obviously a part of the reason. He has a lot of reason to want to get that Jacksonville team to the top quickly. What a story that would be. Jacksonville being able to, they were tarping off the top of the stadium not too long ago. There was people not showing up, and then now they 27 zip in the fucking playoffs, and they don't just fold, go away at all. They come all the way back. What a culture. Speaking of culture, Lamar Jackson seemingly fits in the Atlanta Falcons culture, also in many other cultures that are around the league. As soon as he's given the non-exclusive tag, which we know other teams are able to come and get him, and we want to break through that process here in a second. But first, I want to know, why do you think all of these teams came out so quickly publicly saying we are not in the Lamar Jackson race, even though they are certainly in the quarterback-needed race, and they've looked into other veteran quarterbacks of the past? Is this like a message you think that's being sent about guaranteed contracts? Lombo, is that how you read it as a man who spent, 60 years in the NFL, pretty much, or 50 years in the NFL? Honestly.
Well, I think it's lion season in the NFL right now. Like, how can the Atlanta Falcons, with a straight face, say that they were all in on Deshaun Watson last year and say they're not in on Lamar Jackson?
That's what Pac-Man said, too. That's what.
How can Carolina say that they're not in on Lamar Jackson? First of all, Ryan Poles, the general manager of the Chicago Bears, says he has 3 number ones on the table, according to what Peter King wrote about in his column, that teams will move up and he can get 3 number 1 picks. He can get the flip in the first and then 2 more ones. Why would you pay all that for an unproven player when you can go get Lamar? Now, look, the contract becomes tough because there's no agent involved here, so it's a tough situation. What the Ravens did by putting the non-exclusive on is they took an advertise. They said, call us, make a deal. And I think all these teams that said they're not interested, when they were interested in Watson last year, what message are they sending to their fan base? I mean, we were interested in Watson last year, but we're not interested in this guy. This guy won MVP. The other guy missed football. Like, how does that make any sense? So I think a lot of it is just posturing, and a lot of it is a message to the Ravens that they're not going to engage, trying to get the price of 2 number 1s down. Remember, when they put that tag on them, you don't have to pay 2 number 1s. You can negotiate a deal. So it could be less than 2 number 1s. And I think that's what we're in a posturing mode of the NFL. We're not interested in Lamar. Frankly, who wouldn't be? Like, I know it's going to cost a lot of money. I know the guarantee's a problem, but there's still solutions.
Pac-Man has a question for you.
Hey, Mike, do you think if he had an agent, do you think we would be still talking about this?
No, I think it would be. I think he's hurt himself. Look, his mom, he trusts his mom, but you got to find somebody who's confidant who can do this. Agents broker deals. Dave Dunn, the agent for Aaron Rodgers, is going to broker that deal with the Jets. That's how that's how it all gets happened. And they also understand the value of the player in the open market. Now, especially when it comes time when there's a lot of moving pieces in this Lamar Jackson thing. We got to satisfy Baltimore. We got to get the guarantee, and we got to find a trade partner. That's a lot of things that have to happen behind the scenes that you got to understand the National Football League to make it happen. And Mrs. Lamar's mom, I don't know if she does that. I think it's unfair that he's in this. He should be out and high. Look, pay a flat fee. I don't know what the deal is. But you need somebody to broker this a little bit. You need somebody to do this so that you can get what you need to get out of it.
See, Lombo, because I've called you and asked for advice, I take a lot of pride in the fact that I represent myself. Like, at this stage of my life, I take a lot of pride in it. In the business conversations, I have the relationships with the people at the business to do it. I think I understand the business a little bit. But at some points, too, like, there's a time where you have to look and be like, good business is probably for me not to be the one handling this particular situation, because Lamar is in a very unique, this is a billion dollar industry, and you're talking about 31 billionaires, okay? So if you're going in there alone, you're up against it immediately. Yeah. Like you are up against a lot of power and a lot of potential sway and everything like that. As somebody that is one of the loudest advocates for, like, people need to understand what's going on for themselves and people need to do it, like, an NFL deal, if I was a quarterback, I don't know if I'm the guy that is the right person to be doing that. And that's smart business to make that decision, I think. Like, that is something I feel like Lamar, because I think Lamar's probably a great businessman. I think his mom probably incredibly intelligent when it comes to business and being able to handle it. But there's some places where you just ain't got a shot at the table.
Because now one of them can call the other 32 teams before free agency, or agent can call whoever he wants.
What are you thinking?
We making deals. They making deals behind the scene. I don't think Lamar mom have the relationship to call the Falcons and be like, hey, look, they trying to give us 170, but what y'all got before free agency hit?
Yes.
Because agents have those relationships that go behind the scenes. That's why we call them agents.
Well, how about right here, too? Like, secret agents, special agents, sports agents. The fucking, here in Indianapolis, the Combine, like, did they have a house set up here to, like, meet with people and potentially make a deal happen? Like, that's the shit that's taking place at the NFL. That's how they do their business. So acknowledging that that's how they do business and being like, oh, I need somebody that's able to fucking figure out this game is good business, like, in my eyes personally. And I think you know this, and I'm excited to get your kind of take on the whole thing.
Well, I think the other element we're missing here is they control the narrative, right? How does all these guys get stories? How do you think they get stories about what's happening in the league? They get planted. A lot of these stories are planted. We're planting a story so we could say something else. We saw that the Falcons planted a story. We're not interested. The Miami planted a story. Well, Lamar needs to plant some stories too, and it's hard to plant a story when you don't have somebody helping you plant. Agents are great at creating what we call non-elements, what we call a non-negotiable, something that's not really important that you make important. And I think he needs to have that. He needs to control the narrative a little bit from his side. We don't hear his side. We only hear the Ravens side, who are very good in the PR battle. They're very good at that. I mean, you know, they handle that really well, and we're missing that element.
Hey,
and
that's
how
a
does
big.
this all get tied together?
Hey, that's a big part of it because you win the mob, you win Rome, right?
That's right. You got to control the narrative. Like, all right, you know, and so how does these, and the other thing is, too, we can't underestimate this. You pointed out these 31 billionaires. You go after Lamar, you're changing your franchise. You're basically saying we're all in for 5 years. And that has to be a marriage and a convincing of a lot of people coming together that we're all going to do this together, because he's a great player who could change our franchise. And this isn't signing some wide receiver or trading for Calvin Ridley. This is an organizational shift completely. And you got to get everybody behind that. And that takes somebody who can do alignment, who can connect all three things together. And I think he's missing that. I really do. I think he's hurting himself in the long term about that. Brokering a deal is more than just saying, I want $200 million guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit. You know, it's a lot of, as somebody that's been through it a few times, just because I wanted to learn what it was like, and I've had success, and I'm a great card player, so I think that helps me out in the entire thing. And I have great people that help me out, like this man who, it was 20 minutes before I went into that one negotiation where I called you, and you fucking gave me like a motivational speech. I will forever be grateful for that. I want to let you know that.
Well, I think you understand the business, right? And so you didn't have to get traded. You were negotiating. It was a straight line. This is a little bit of a curvy road that you got to navigate, and you got to be able to see beyond the road. I mean, the secret to all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious. And in this case, you got to see the non-obvious.
Bars! Hey, dude, that was awesome there, Lombo. That was incredible.
Well,
I set that up. No, hold on, though. Remember?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I learned yesterday that there are some thoughts that, like, we set up the conversations that we have with people to get those things. So we obviously set that thing up to get you to just drop that fucking absolute gem of a line. Say that again one more time. The secret?
Well, it's Marcus Aurelius' quote. I talk about it all the time when I give out speeches. The secret to all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious. What does that mean, right? Like, what is not obvious to the viewer? Like, in football, what's not obvious? Okay, penalties in the kicking game's not obvious to the fan, but if you don't have penalties in the kicking game, that's a secret to victory. Right? You know, when you make mistakes in elements of games, you got to organize all that. That's really what great coaches do, is organize the non-obvious and teach the players about this is what we can't do. It's the same thing in this negotiation. The worst thing, if an agent said to me and I was on the telephone and they would say, what's important to you in this negotiation? Right? That seems obvious. No, that's the non-obvious, because if I tell him what's important, he's going to give me everything that I want and take everything else away from me. So he's got me focused on something that's not obvious. So you got to be really careful, and you got to be smart about it. That's why I think he needs representation, and I think his mom should be included in it. I'm not saying she shouldn't.
Hell yeah.
But I think there needs to be legal. I don't want to say legal advice. There needs to be experienced advice.
There needs to be experienced strategy, I think. Like, hey, this is what we need to do. There's somebody out there.
Yeah.
And I've obviously been his biggest advocate. He's the guy that put everybody in this current situation right now. Mulugeta is the guy that I'm like, if I'm Lamar Jackson and I'm his mom, I'm like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to hire Mulugeta. Congratulations, you're now an employee for us. We need you to get this deal done. Like, you're still a businessman by doing that. Like, I hope that is still something that's being pondered. You know what I mean?
I think if we just go back to his draft status, okay? Here's Lamar. He's the best player in the ACC. He won a Heisman Trophy. He had to sit in the green room for 31 other picks. We're talking about Anthony Richardson, who is a tremendous athlete. Look, I've loved Anthony Richardson since the first time I saw him. Is he a great quarterback? I don't know.
Whoa,
Anthony Richardson, we're talking about in the top 10 picks. We're talking about him going in the top 10 picks. Lamar went 32. Who's a better player? You know, Trey Lance went third. Lamar went 32. So my point is that agents can help you get drafted earlier by selling you. Lamar didn't have anybody selling him. You see, it affected him in the draft. It affected him in the. He sat in that green room for 32 picks. This guy should have been picked in I mean, why? Josh Rosen went ahead of him, all due respect.
All due respect. Went to a couple of, hey, hell of a college. Hey,
Yeah.
the Rosen one.
That's right.
The Rosen one. We're proud of him.
Yeah.
Hey, we're proud of him. Did work in the NFL. It's very fascinating, the business side of the NFL, and obviously you've been on all sides of it and have seen a lot of deals be completed and probably fall apart because of small things like that. And your whole, be it the non-obvious mass organizing, the non-obvious where that's like the little things lead to big things, right? Pretty much, because the little things are the things that are non-obvious. It's like the wording of that quote, though. You sounded fucking, hey.
Clean.
Yeah, dude, didn't even have to look at something like,
Nope.
like what was that? What did Marcellus what is that fucker's name?
I like that. I like that you brought up the original Gladiator quote, and then he trumped it with the Marcus Aurelius quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love everything.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely incredible, Lombo. Your brain is a great one. So help me explain this, okay? And Tone Diggs loves saying this whenever he asks a question. And the internet, obviously, we didn't create this. Tone didn't create this. But this is an avenue in which some people ask questions. Explain to me like I'm a fucking 5-year-old, okay? Lamar signs this. He hasn't signed, okay? He has not signed. Only one time in 30 years we learned via an Adam Schefter tweet has somebody signed the non-exclusive tag and then ended up playing on a different team that negotiated a deal, and his team that put him under the franchise tag was not able to match the deal that somebody else offered. So one time, Gilbert, right?
Sean Gilbert.
Sean Gilbert, 30 years ago was the last time this happened. He goes from Washington to Carolina. I believe Carolina probably knew stages there, so they were probably willing to do whatever to get players at that stage. Lombo, do you know this?
Yep, I remember this really well. You know, and it was a huge splash for him because, I mean, first of all, Gilbert had an agent that was really it was challenging to get a deal done with him, and Sean was really involved in the negotiations too. And so Sean had a sense of his value, and he was intimately involved, and it was not an easy negotiation with him. And I think that at Washington had basically said, okay, we're not going to go down this, and we'll do it. And then Carolina saw the opportunity to make a deal, and so that's what happened.
Okay, so we start talking about Lamar Jackson getting the non-exclusive tag. Well, he could just go to another team, we start thinking, because this was the conversation leading in to the franchise tag deadline was, is Lamar going to be exclusively franchise tagged, which rarely happens, or non-exclusively franchise tag happen, which always, I got non-exclusive franchise tag. Difference is the 2 first-rounders and the ability to negotiate, and then bang, you're out. So those 2 first-rounders, that's, you kind of chatted about this earlier about how that's negotiated. The way the rules state kind of is the 2 first-rounders almost get you in the door, then you can negotiate, and then if you and the player agree to it, then the next team the home team has 5 days to match it. What if they match it and the player doesn't want to play for that team, though? It's like, yeah, that's the deal for you, not for them. Like, the deal, is there an ability to do that? And does he have to sit out a year then, or can he say no and just take the franchise tag?
This is where the agent needs to be involved. So there's steps in this, right? So if I were representing Carolina and I wanted to get into this, to this deal, and I'm not saying they do, but if I were, I would call DaCosta on the phone and say, look, Eric, we know you want to trade him. Let's you and I work out a deal. We think the kid wants to play for us. You and I work out some kind of compensation, and then I'll deal with the mom and I'll deal with the player and I'll get a deal done. And then once we've agreed to that deal, we'll have Lamar sign the tender with you, and then we will trade you those picks for the tender, and then we'll redo his contract when we get him.
Got it.
Okay? All right, so that's how that's going to happen.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is.
It's a lot of layers here. It's a lot of layers. But the first layer that starts is you got to make sure that if I'm at Carolina, look, Eric, I know you want to trade the player. I don't give a shit what you're saying to me about, oh, he's going to play on the tender. You and I both know you didn't put that tender on him to not trade him. So forget about the 2 number 1s. Here's the best offer I'm going to make.
And they can override the NFL and just say, yeah, we're taking this.
You could override it because once he signs the tender, now I can trade a player who is under contract.
Got it.
And there's no compensation to it. So now I say, look, Eric, I'm going to give you a 1 this year and I'll give you a 3. That's my best offer. What do you want to do? You want to keep that $32 million on your cap? You want him for 1 more year? What are you going to do? You going to franchise him again? I got leverage in this thing. So I'm negotiating this deal with him to get away from the 2 number 1s. I'm not just saying to you, okay. Now, if I wanted to surprise DaCosta with a front-end loaded deal that he couldn't match, that's one thing. I don't want to do that. I want to deal with him. I want him involved in this. So I want to get him to agree to a deal. Then I agree with Lamar, and then I end up making the deal.
So you have to have 2 first, though. You have to have this year's first and next year's first, because they're saying that San Francisco 49ers can't get involved.
You only have to have that if you surprise them. Like, let's say Miami does not have a first-round pick. Okay. So Miami, Chris Greer calls up DeCosta and says, "Look, I'll give you a 1 and 24. I'll give you a 3 and 25. Okay, would you take that, Eric?" DeCosta says, "Yes." Okay, I've got permission to talk to Jackson. I've got a deal with Jackson. You and I have a deal. Jackson signs his tender. I'll trade you the 1 and 24 and the 3 and 25. I get him, and I redo his contract. That's it. Once he signs the tender, those 2 number 1s are off the table.
So hold on, I have a question for you now. So Baltimore could technically, and I'm not saying anybody would want to do this because it would be terrible. They could just, sign, nah, fuck you. And like, is that something that could happen? Does that ever happen?
No, that would never happen, because you would have to have an agreement. Like, look, we have a deal, and it's part of because here's what happens. Lamar's only signing a deal to get this bonus, and the Ravens can't do the contract, right?
So this is just a standard trade stuff. This is just extending the trade window almost, it sounds like.
Well, this is basically getting away from the 2 number 1s. Once he signs the contract, you can't trade a player who's not under contract, okay? You can't trade a player, but once he signs a contract, that tender, that exclusive right deal is off the table.
All right, so if Lamar Jackson's mom, do we know her name? We should know her name. She is currently a representative for a couple. She's about to negotiate a couple $100 million.
Felicia Jones.
Felicia Jones. So Felicia right now needs to be potentially reaching out to any team there's 10 of them that are quarterback needy teams, and saying, "Hey, is there any way we can do business?" Figuring out what they would be, and then going back to DeCosta, or the other GM would reach out to DeCosta then at that point and say, "This is kind of how this goes." What does Felicia Jones need to do, you think, first? And how do we get that?
I think you should call Chris Greer on the phone and say, "Look, my son grew up in Pompano Beach. He played at Boynton Beach High School. He wants to play in Florida. That's where he wants to play. We will do a deal with you if you go make a deal. And take the Miami Dolphins temperature." Now, we know what their temperature is publicly. They don't want a quarterback out of here.
Yeah, because Tua, they got to put up Tua.
Right. They got to take the temperature. And now Greer's got to go make a deal. "I'll trade you X, Y, and Z. I know I can sign Jackson." And DeCosta will probably say on the first phone call, "No, I'm going to keep Jackson." Well, that's why we're talking. Because you wouldn't put that non-exclusive if you're going to keep him, right? Like, that's why we're talking. See, trades aren't just about, "I'm going to give you a 1 and a 1. I mean, trades are about negotiations. It's about, like, who has leverage, who doesn't, right?
Selling.
If Brian Poles had 3 number 1s, like he said he did in that column that Peter King wrote, he would have made a deal already, right? It goes back to the great movie Rounders,
Oh, yeah.
Like, check, 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 like when a guy's licking his cookie.
Hey, listen, I'm all about a good public negotiation too. Ryan Poles is trying to figure it out. He's saying, "Hey, there's 3 number 1s on the table." So
that man, he peaks.
He's letting everybody know, like, I'm expecting a little bit more than this if you want to come into conversation
Yeah,
late.
but he was licking his cookie. He's like Teddy in KGB. We know he's bluffing. It's the bluff. You know you don't have it. You had it, you're taking it. You don't have to tell somebody you got something.
No.
In this business, secrecy, when you have the leverage, you don't need to tell everybody you're the big dog.
So what do you think he was not planning that people, after they learn a little bit more about Anthony Richardson or CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, might decide to get into the trade game, and he was setting a precedent? You don't think he was saying, like,
I think he's trying to drum up business. I think he's trying to trade the pick in the next 5 or 6 days. I think he's probably got 3 or 4 teams that have interest. I think ideally, if you're him, you want to try to layer it down. You want to go from 1 to 2 to 5 and then add more, or you want to go from 1 to 9, whatever you want to do. But there's a lot of conversations behind the scenes about that pick that I think are happening, but I don't think it's where he said it was.
4th to 3rd overall pick. What is that normally? Like 4th pick?
The chart would say X, but leverage says Y. So it depends on who you have.
Yeah, because if there's a 20 trying to get down to 3 and a 4's trying to get to 3, all of a sudden sitting at 3, you're competing with the 20 numbers because, hey, 4, this is available all of a sudden, right?
Those teams picking in the 20 can't get there. They don't have enough arsenal to get up there.
Oh, you don't think they can load it with back to get up that inside the first round? Especially with only 3 quarterbacks allegedly. So, like, we're sitting at 4. Now, Jim Irsay had Peyton Manning right there. Now Ryan Leaf was there.
He was.
They went with Peyton Manning, even though the dude that tripped on drugs out in Vegas, that wrote that book,
Hunter S. Thompson.
Hunter S. Thompson told Jim Irsay, that Peyton Manning boy looks very thin. This Ryan Leaf guy's a big dog. So he has Peyton Manning, then Andrew Luck sitting there, right? So like that's pretty.
Got it.
Like there's a lot of other owners looking around like, oh, aren't you lucky? You hit the lottery twice. Sitting at 4 in this particular draft, that is
tough.
That is not because I think those top 3 guys. You think they're all just going to get interchanged? You think that's going to be? It depends on who you're talking to for the quarterbacks.
I get the sense that, everybody wants that to be. I think if you take these guys, there's certainly there's strengths in all of them, and there's some weaknesses in every one of them. I mean, if you take Richardson, you're basically saying we need somebody. We got to redshirt him for a year. He based on his tape at Florida. Not his athletic tape, but his tape at playing.
A lot of drops on all the players. All the players. A lot of drops on all the players.
It's going to take some time to get him up to the game. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying that at all. I think I said this on my show. I've said it on the pod. I thought the guy, if he would have went back to school, he might have won the Heisman. I think he would have won the Heisman. I think this is a rare. I mean, I watched him play high school football too. I mean, this kid's really unique.
You think that Florida regime right now is going to win? Dude, I'm only saying this strictly because I watched Oregon State at the Vegas Bowl, and I got a chance to kind of check the temperature of the whole entire program almost via my Twitter. I don't know. I think he kind of had to go. And that Florida, hey, they're in an interesting spot right now. That Florida program is in a bad spot right now. Not saying that can't change overnight. And if you're an incredible player, you should be able to win overall. But this ain't like the Florida team that everybody thinks.
No,
this isn't like
ain't even the Dan Mullen Florida team.
No, this is a different Florida team
What it used to be.
that I think a lot of people are thinking. But nonetheless, I appreciate the conversation there about draft and leverage. You're fucking so great at it, and I very much appreciate you. Boys have some questions too, Lombo. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Lombo, you said Russ last year was cooking at the Hacky Sack Diner. I want to know what you think about Sean Payton going in there. Do you think he can fix him? And then also, just the coaching cycle as a whole. Did you think Gannon in Arizona was a good hire for them? Or, where are you sitting at?
I mean, I was shocked that he did, Jonathan Gannon, but Monty Ostendorf, the GM, and Jonathan Gannon have been friends for a long time. I think that was a friendship thing, that they know each other really well and they feel they can work together. I think we saw Kelvin Beacham's comments today about the quarterback. I think that's going to be a true challenge. When you announce to the world that your quarterback's the franchise player and there's some doubt about his leadership and maturity, you're really trying to cover up some. So Gannon and Monty are in for a tough road ahead. They've got to get that fixed. I think Sean's got his program, and either Russell's going to adapt to the program or he's not going to be in the program. And so there's a new sheriff in town, and the sheriff got a lot of money, and he's going to get paid well. And Russell's career is at a crossroads. He's going to have to fix what he does, and I think Sean will get him to do it. I think he'll respect Sean's knowledge. I think Sean's already made it clear that there's going to be nobody coaching the quarterback but me and my staff, nobody outside the building. I think that's a positive step.
They said they took down the office pretty much. That was on the second floor there that he had. His teammates said...
I never heard anything in my life like that. Like, if I would have been the GM, I would have never... Like, there's no way. Like, we're not doing this. Like, we're not doing this. This is not the CYO over here. Like, we're not.
All right.
We're not doing that.
So his teammates, though, all said, when they went there, it was just plays everywhere. It was all just, his locker wouldn't be enough to be able to contain his football mind. He needed a beautiful mind of football everywhere around their dry erase board, everywhere, they said. So his teammates never seemed to really have... that big of a deal, but I'm sure whenever the teammates first learned of it, everybody was like, I ain't going to your fucking office.
What?
Right after
What are we doing?
Jersey.
What the?
Then maybe they did. I don't know, but I'm happy to hear Sean Payton, the way he addressed it too. Remember they were like, Sean, we heard reports of like the office and other coaches being in there, and he goes, I'm foreign to that.
Yeah.
That was like immediately, like publicly. I don't even know. He said no shot. And then we asked him about eating dinner with Russell. And he said, Joe Montana was there. And he was like, Joe Montana to me was my guy. I'm talking to Joe and I'm talking to Russ. I feel like Sean believes that he's fucking such a football guy that he'll be able to just get it going. I love Sean Payton. He came on our show as way too nice to us. Way too nice. He was supposed to be on for 15. He stayed for like 45 fucking minutes. That guy wouldn't leave. His little person, the little ad person that was in the back next to Zito, every question I asked him, or the boys asked him, Zito would be like, he has to go too, and then he has to go in like 2 minutes. And then he has to go to name of show that he's going to. And I'm like, I know that show. They're not going to be happy. Then, hey, he has to leave. And then I say to him, hey, I'm being told you got to get out of here. He goes, I'm in charge.
Nah, keep going.
What do we even? He was there for like 40 minutes. I felt terrible.
Well, he's a football guy.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. So when I was at the Eagles, Jeff Lurie comes to me and says, John Gruden was the offensive coordinator at the time, and he says, we got to find somebody to replace Gruden in case Gruden leaves, which he did eventually. So Billy Callahan knew Sean from years ago. We interviewed Dirk Cotter, Robbie Bosco, and then Sean had just got fired from Northwestern and just took a job at the University of Maryland. And he was moving his family, and he gets the phone call from the Eagles, and he detours, and we give him the job. So then he starts at the Eagles, and we're at the Vet Stadium, and there's no office space for him. So he works with a cell phone and a briefcase. That was his office. And he just came into the building in exactly the same personality that he is now. He just basically embraced the job. He learned everything he could from Gruden, and he became a pro NFL coach. And that's kind of his personality. I mean, he grew up a kind of a guy that understand how to work hard, and he's been able to develop that. And then the years with Parcells, I think those years in Dallas with Parcells have made him to where he is today.
Great shoe game, too.
Yeah,
Clean.
Incredibly clean shoe game. It's unbelievable. Tone has a question for you, Paisan.
Alonzo, I caught the tail end of an interview you were doing the other day. Did I hear you say that if a team really wanted to, they could go get Kirk Cousins or Matt Stafford right now?
Oh, Matt Stafford's fully available. For Matt Stafford, they would love to trade. They can't do it because he's got $57 million guaranteed.
Hold on, though.
There's a lot of
Do we know he's playing? Do we know he's playing? We're 100% sure he's playing?
Well, he says he is playing, but but Pat, his contract, he's got 26 million of an option bonus on the third day of the league year, and he's got 31 million in paragraph 5 on the third day of the league year. All of that is guaranteed. Okay, that's 57 million.
That's good.
Now,
Whoever worked that, good work.
When I say guaranteed, that's for skill and injury. So it doesn't matter if you can't play or not.
Out of Detroit to LA with this contract.
Yeah.
Win a Super Bowl.
They just
You're
did.
in commercials. What a dream for Stafford to do this.
Deserves
He's
it.
got 57 million coming to him no matter what. The Rams, what are they going to do? They're trying to get out from it. So I don't really want to hear the bullshit that, we're not trying to trade him. Yes, you are. You've called teams. I know this. I know this. Okay?
Yep.
And so, I don't really care what they say. They all lie about it. I lied about it. That's for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has 30 million coming up. He's due 10 million in paragraph 5. He's got 20 million on a roster bonus. But he doesn't have a contract past 24. I mean, they would definitely do something if they could get something for him. And they're not going to extend him out.
You're saying business-wise. You're saying business-wise.
Well met.
I just said this on my podcast an hour ago. Adam Thielen, you could have Adam Thielen. There's so many players you could have right now if you wanted to take on their deal. Like Darius Slay, the corner for the Giants, for the Eagles. You could trade for him if you wanted. His agent's out there shopping for a deal, partly because he wants a new contract, and you could trade for him. So, it's not uncommon that this happens now.
Slaymaker?
Slay.
Wow. Slaymaker's
On some more money.
Okay. Hey, good for out of Detroit. There's another
Slay.
guy.
Yeah.
Out of Detroit.
Hell yeah. Deserves it. Way to go, Slay.
When we say this isn't this is the business of football. You can't fall in love with especially for Howie Roseman. He's gonna have to sign Hurts to a huge contract. He's got to liquidate some of his guys. He's got 2 number ones. So as the general manager, you're sitting there saying, okay, if I trade Slay, I get this back for him. He goes and I draft this guy, and you start replacing things because you have to fit everything in to the puzzle that you're around, which is your team based on the cap.
And whenever players talk like the NFL is a business, people are like, for the love of the game. Do you hear what's going on right now?
Oh,
He
yeah,
just said
sure.
the assets here. You can trade for this. You got futures here.
Replace there?
Yeah, it's like you got this guy coming in, much cheaper price. It's like that is how the NFL actually works. And I think it's more fascinating when people know that, but I don't think people fully understand that that's happening at all times almost behind the scenes, especially with 1 week to go before we got to get underneath the salary cap on March 15th.
It's the only way it has to work, and that's where what happens. Like the Giants signed Daniel Jones because they love Daniel Jones. When you fall in love, you overpay. When you don't love, you won't overpay. Like the Giants could have said, okay, Daniel, you become a free agent. Like quarterbacks typically don't want to change teams, but we have to sign you. Like Geno Smith. I mean, the Seattle did a great thing. They signed him to a really good deal. He got a good deal, and then they came out and said, "Look, we might draft a quarterback anyway." Like your job is to basically find out a way to make. You're in the season where you can improve your team. Like there's no locker room now. The chemistry, the culture isn't in the team yet. It doesn't start until when you get everybody together.
And who knows what that team's going to be. We got to make it as good as possible. Last question for you here from Ty.
Yeah, Lombo, you mentioned that Dave Dunn's going to end up brokering a deal for Rodgers with the Jets. From everything you've heard, is that is that a done deal? Is he going to go play for the Jets? Because now, everyone's saying, hey, retirement's still possible. And then on the other side of that, a lot of Jets beat reporters are tweeting today that, hey, the Packers aren't asking for a king's ransom. Like, he could be had for a second-round pick and maybe a late-round pick. Do you agree with that, or what kind of compensation do you think the Packers will get in return if he is traded to the Jets?
I said this on my pod last week, that the Packers are looking for a 1, and they want something else if he plays longer. Now, I think what that means is, we want your 1, but if he plays 2 years, we want a 3, or we want a 2. We want a conditional pick to go along with what we have. Now, maybe they'll take a 2 and a conditional pick for something else. I don't know. But I have a hard time believing that Woody would load up that airplane, fill it with fuel, and fly 2,500 miles across the country if he didn't think the kid was going to play, if he didn't think Aaron was going to play. Like, I don't think you're going to waste fuel on that. Like, it's not an expedition. We're not just Lewis and Clark here. We're hoping to find shit, So, like,
that's what Pax
I think I think they expect it. I think they want to do a deal. I think the Packers want to do a deal. And I think Aaron wanted to hear what they had to say. And I think that ultimately where Dunn comes into play most importantly is, how do we structure this contract where it fits this? What we've noticed here in the last 12 hours, the Jets are dumping guys. We just saw that Barrios, they're not going to get rid of him. They redid TJ, the tight end. They're trying to get below the cap. They're trying to fit his cap number into their team.
Okay. They still have days to make it happen, too.
Oh, yeah, plenty.
Not until next Wednesday, I believe. The 15th is whenever it's got to go. Pac-Man has one for you on the way out.
I heard you say Daniel Jones. I want to ask you 2 questions.
Oh, shit.
I want to ask you, what do you think should Daniel Jones' number been? Of course, I think the Giants wasted a lot of money there. And then what do you think about Lamar? What the number gonna be, and what is the number Lamar is asking for right now?
All right, so I think you just asked a great question. So what we have to understand is there's two contracts in the NFL. There's hard dollars and soft. So like those soft dollars are what the team actually ends up paying, what gets reported in the media. The hard dollars are what's actually in the contract. I think Lamar's got to be looking north of $45 million. Daniel Jones just got $40 million plus a bunch of incentives on a hard deal. Now it's really a 2-year deal at $82 million, so it's 41. Every deal is never the length of the deal, but I think Lamar has every right to ask for $200 million guaranteed. If Deshaun Watson got $250 guaranteed, this guy's the MVP. Like, how can you argue that he's not worth more? Now, 2 years in a row he's been hurt. That's an issue.
All right, Paisan, we appreciate you. Go hang out with the family. They sound like they're having a great time, and thank you for all the information.
We're good. Yeah, we're enjoying it.
Hey,
we're loving it. We're just going to travel across the country. I'm headed to Vegas by car tomorrow, so I'll just be listening.
Let's go.
Van? What do we got? A Sprinter van?
No, I just got to, I got 2 dogs. The one dog can't fly.
Lewis and
She's
Clark.
neurotic, so I got to drive across the country to work, and so it's all good. We're doing good. The off season is the best, isn't it? This is going to be the greatest off season of all time.
I think so. I mean, Russell Wilson got traded. What was that? Last off season. Aaron Rodgers did with the Packers ends up happening. Hold on. So because big hiring in the family to Vegas, that's why we're going. What are we going to Vegas? How long?
No, I'm remodeling my house in New Jersey, so they're kicking me out of the house. I got to go somewhere, and the best place to go is where I work is in Vegas. So that means I have to drive because I got a neurotic dog who can't fly. So it all comes together. It just, here I am like the Griswolds going against the Cubs. But I will say this, Pat. I'm stopping at the Clinton Library in Little Rock. I'm going to be there for 2 hours. I got 2 hours to do that, and then I got to keep going.
What are you doing? Are you signing books?
No, I'm just gonna go. I want to go tour the libraries. I've been wanting to tour that library. I love presidential.
Oh, hold on though. We got a big spatula in Iowa, I think.
Yeah.
There's a whole list of things that we can have you do across the New Jersey to Vegas.
Come to Indy.
Oh my! Come stop by Indianapolis. There'll be so much
Hey, I'll
stuff.
do that on the way back. I will.
Stop in
I'm gonna do
Pittsburgh,
that.
go down south side.
Yeah, definitely stop by Pittsburgh. You know, toughen up a little bit. That city will give you a little grip for the road. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Michael
Thanks,
Lombardi.
guys.
Safe
Appreciate
travels.
it.
Safe travels. That's a long drive, bro.
Oh, wow.
3 days.
What are you talking about, though? This guy, hour, 40-minute drive. No, that's nothing.
Oh no, that's my time to myself. This is a great drive.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Cincinnati and Indianapolis not too far apart.
I listen to Mexican music because I don't know what they're saying.
Nice.
So you don't sing along with it, so you can think.
Oh, I just listen to the beat.
Yeah, love that.
Block it out.
Always good upbeat sounds as well.
I mean, I almost said so much there. Matt
he
Stafford
was
is
on it
being
today.
shopped right now.
Darius Slay is agent is out already reaching out to people. If he's not available, you're already talking to. I know you're talking to teams.
Yeah.
It's like boom, that's fun.
What?
Hey,
I
Michael
don't want to hear
Lombardi.
the bullshit. I know what you're saying.
Lombardi was sick of it.
Yeah.
I assume because somebody came out and combated against what he had said, and there had been reports, and I think that's why Lombo every once in a while feels like he's like, yeah, the insiders know stuff, but like, I also just talked to. He knows everybody in the NFL.
Everybody.
And then all the different jobs he had, he's just like addicted to the game.
Yes.
Like, love the game, obviously. He's like addicted to football. He will never check out. His old fucking ass.
Yes.
Okay, he's retired from the NFL. He writes 4 things a day. Like, I've talked to him numerous different times about like business, you know? I'm like, so what's going on with you? Like, what do you got going on? Well, I got this going on here. I got obviously the Daily Coach going on here. I'm speaking at this. I'm writing my 5th book this time. I got my show running every day at this. I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Like, you're battery, pal.
He was just in Park City, Utah, speaking at a Raymond James conference, keynote speaker.
Dude, yes, he's speaking at Corpo events.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with what's his name? With Edelman.
Oh, Jules.
Yeah.
Jules was in it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Started 80 for Brady last night.
Oh, that's right. So you started it, so you didn't get through it.
Well, it was.
He was laughing too hard, had to pause it.
Yeah,
save it for today.
stomach hurt.
Yep, I know.
I'll say this.
I get it.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Sally Field stole the show.
I don't know which one's Sally Fields.
Okay.
But
She's the funny one.
One
Come
that
on.
stole the show.
You know.
Well, that's the thing that I'm saying here.
They all steal the show.
I thought it was a pretty good movie.
You're saying
Yeah.
James Bond stole the show.
It was put on.
Maybe Lily Tomlin.
Okay, I don't know which one's which, and that is 100% on me. And I think maybe my mom. Like, I think she should probably introduce me to some of these people at some point.
Sure.
But I'm not 100% sure she was in to what they were. Or I wasn't in the house enough. I wasn't in the house enough to know what it was. I didn't know who any of the ladies were. Went into it with an open mind, also with a plan to fall asleep.
Okay.
A plan to fall asleep. I'm putting this on to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Not a bad movie.
Hey,
I
look.
could see how people would enjoy it. Obviously, I am not the demographic. But I could see how people would enjoy the movie if that made sense. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to watch it. Like, I'm not. There's no way I'm running it back.
Sure.
Okay.
You know, I kind of got it. I'm not going to finish it.
Right.
But I don't watch a lot of movies. So people that are listening to this, like, that I am a sports stooge, bro. Like, this is what I am at all times. But I thought it was a good movie. I think my wife enjoyed it.
There you go.
I think she enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep like a gentleman at a good part
Nice.
where it seems like I got it figured out.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were big fans of Tom, though. Brought them all together.
Yeah, huge fan. True story.
They were not football fans.
You'll recognize Sally. She's far right. She was the wife, and Mrs. Doubtfire was one of the.
Sally crushes it, I will say. Yeah, she absolutely. All of them have their. Hey,
Certified fresh for a reason.
they all have like their own individual
Yeah, of course.
opportunities to like do their thing. Yeah, that's why whenever you said to start the show, I'm like, I think they all kind of.
I'm biased.
Oh, just because you're a fandom?
Yeah.
Do you know any of those ladies up
Definitely didn't watch that.
there? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, usually I'd ask some questions. I go along with it. I know you thought that movie fucking sucked. Okay, I'm not.
What's your deal?
I'm not
What's this
messing
guy's
around
problem?
Come
today.
on.
And how many times have you heard this sentence? I thought it was a good movie. I fell asleep during it, but I thought it was a good movie.
With Pat.
No,
You've never
me, that
heard
happens. That's
that.
literally what I'm doing.
That
That's my
movie
life.
fucking sucked.
No,
okay?
you watched it?
Yeah, I did.
You watched the whole. Something must have changed then after the part that I watched. As I was saying, it was good.
That movie has been dog shit since it was being
What
made.
is your
and
problem?
it's dog
with
shit
you?
now, too.
89% of people that watch this thing say yup.
Yep, okay.
And that's
Boom.
only 89% of people that opt to take the poll,
That's true.
which
Yeah.
is a.
Look at that though. 2,500 plus verified rating.
Do you know how many of those people have the TB12 method? And do you know how many of those people work for that company that took a P&P loan?
Oh,
during
you didn't
the-
like how much it was about. Oh, it makes sense to me why you hated it.
No, I didn't
As a
like
Belichick
it.
guy, it is quite a.
He spit on Sister Jean yesterday. Now he's talking trash on
I
Rita
did-
Marino and
wait,
Sally Field.
you didn't-
It's becoming a problem.
You didn't hear what I said about Sister
You
Jane,
hate old
because
ladies.
I said I thought she looks great.
Now you forced it into the conversation.
Not at all. We're talking about
Yeah,
old.
you forced it.
We're talking about old people.
Yeah,
and
but
the
that-
first person that came to my mind was Sister Jean, looking great.
Yeah, but that particular photo obviously made it into all of our lives while we were all around each other.
Yeah.
And it felt like we all decided, like, we're not doing Sister Jean like that.
I missed.
And then all of a sudden, while we're having a conversation, and then his brain,
Yeah. Exactly.
jackpot.
I didn't. I must have
All right,
missed
see,
that.
And now we
we
knew
gotta
what
do
was
it
gonna
again.
happen.
See, look.
Enough.
It's
She's
just a matter of
103.
time.
I didn't do this.
103 years
good.
old.
I think she looks good.
Yeah, you're just saying the internet. The only reason why
Show
you
the
you're like
private
AJ.
flight
This is the
photo.
problem.
No. Yesterday
Show
I
the
said,
flight photo.
While,
flight photo.
while we were
Put
talking
her on
about,
the Gulf Stream.
Yeah.
while-
Put her on the G5.
G5.
We need G5 Sister Jean stat
Yeah.
to save whatever's happening right now. And I would like Sister Jean to be treated with a lot more respect on this program.
We don't need GA general admission. We need G5 private flight photo.
That's right.
Bingo.
Where'd her glasses go?
Bang.
There we go.
Yeah, where'd her glasses go in the second photo?
I don't.
I'm just putting this together.
Yeah, she was sneezing. It was
Took
a
them
whole.
off,
Did they
dude.
was a-
disintegrate into
Just
Let's get to
Raiders.
a break. Let's get to a break.
We love Sister Jean. Love her.
We talked for way too long into this hour because there's.
Hell, that's gonna do nothing.
He was a three-sport athlete at Plum High School, where his volleyball team was in the mix for a Section 3 title. Making his Lake Tahoe debut for the brand, Pet McAfee. Aaron Rodgers. AJ Hawk.
How to baby AJ?
Hey there.
See you later.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Good job.
Got about 12 of these.
That's not real.
Good line here. Good line here. Buy some drinks.
Great putt. Yeah. Oh, he wants to all-star, brother. Hey, let's go. Come on. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Our American Century Championship coverage rolls on here from the back deck of Edgewood Tahoe. How about Pat McAfee stopping by, man?
This Chiefs team, man. And everybody talks about how AJ picked the Chargers because how good the Chargers play the Chiefs, and that was the point. That was evident yet again last night. And shout out to the Chargers having a fucking great game. Now, 2 minutes left in the game, the way you go about scoring there and thinking about Patrick Mahomes on the other side, down 3, it's a whole situation there. And who knows if you could take things back, you score that quick. And did the Chiefs let them score that quick? And we're happy they scored that quick. Who knows? They're in field goal range. You do your thing. You have to score. Not taking a shot at Staley at all. Just saying, interesting situation for them to end up in, for us to have to talk about, because you give Patrick Mahomes that much time to come back. You obviously know at this stage of his career, at this stage of life, Patrick Mahomes is going to make plays. Not only running, obviously, but the dude he's got playing tight end for him in Travis Kelce is the best football player on any field that he's ever walked onto. Now, he's high-stepping on one touchdown. This one, he's breaking tackles and skirting into the end zone. They go up 4 after the extra point is kicked there late in the game to beat a division rival. Travis Kelce is fucking unguardable. He's unstoppable, and whenever they need it and gotta have it, and we're getting to that point of the season, look at this high step, The picture that he has, he posted on his IG story, and the caption he put on there is high stepper. He's up to 11 receiving touchdowns this season, tied for the most in his career. He's on pace for a career high in catches, yards, and touchdowns this season. He's 33 years old, and he now has 33 games with 100-plus yards or more, which is more than everybody who broke Gronkowski's record. He's going to go down as statistically greatest tight end of all time.
Yep, the guy's unstoppable. But you're not, you can't. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's not going to happen.
Why?
Let's go!
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this great Thursday, March 9th, 2023. Hour 2 starts now.
Rumors!
Hey, not a bad. Their first, hey, they were real. You should have seen the anxiety in the room before the show started. Pac-Man was here. Pac-Man, isn't that right? There was a little bit of anxiety on what they were going to say.
It was a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, it was quiet defense, dead defense over there, which is good. You guys were loud. You were all chirping, all trying to decide what you're going to say. You want with rumors because we're in the middle of a hell of a rumor season. The salary cap has to be set for every team in the NFL by March 15th. That is next Wednesday. So there's a lot of moving and grooving and lying going along around, around. You get it. In the NFL right now. Right. This man is joining us from an attic in Ohio, and yesterday was probably one of the greatest performances he has had with a mouth and words. Oh, yeah. He's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, COVID survivor, father of 10. Ohio State fuck. AJ Hawk. AJ, everybody's lying, dude. That's what Lombardi said. Lombardi said so much there, but it's all very real for the time that we're in right now, and we got to be alert. We got to sniff them out, AJ. That's what we got to do here. We can't fall for the trap every single year like J.J. Watt basically said that we do. J.J. Watt said, hey, listen, if you're hearing something, there's a reason you're hearing something. There is lies. There is 100% ability to keep something a secret because he was able to do it. What do you think about that whole thing, AJ, and what do you think happens in the end of it?
I think it is. It's definitely possible to keep something under wraps, to keep it a secret until like the last minute, like JJ did. But I think it's very rare. It's tough to do. The more people involved, the tougher it is. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's lying. Okay, let's say with the Lamar situation, Who's lying there? Who's putting stuff out there?
So Lombardi said that that's all Baltimore putting everything out pretty much because Lamar's not doing any PR. Like he said, another good thing that an agent does is plant stories, which plants narratives. Like, hey, did you hear about this? This team's talking to this. Oh, this team was very interested in this player at this particular time. Remember, their history goes back to this. Whenever there's leaking information to insiders, and insiders are like, Baltimore and Lamar Jackson have had great chemistry. Like, there's just so many different ways.
Part of the game, though. You can understand how that's a big part of the game, though, and how it's a big part of the business. Yeah, like this is how you drive up interest in clients. How you do. Yeah, like this happens so much more, I think, than we even know.
Yeah, it's business. Like when you type up a tweet, you know,
sure,
that is kind of like a
what you're saying
State of the Union, pretty
Sure,
much.
yeah, exactly.
And there are some, stats and analytics in there. Apparently, this is not why I did it.
No.
But apparently, that does drum up some fucking conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In a lot of places.
Yeah, sweet.
At very high places.
Yep.
Quickly.
Very quick.
Very fast.
Had no idea. But it's like, oh, this is like that type of situation, though, So that one, we go ahead and put that in for later in life. Okay, there's a move. But that's what these agents have. They have agencies. They know every trick in the game. And there's some agencies that are only specific in the NFL. Like, let's say Mulugeta. We bring him up a lot because he was able to negotiate a $230 million guaranteed deal for a quarterback in 2022 that was going through some of the most serious allegations that ended up all getting settled. But everybody has their thoughts still to this day about those very serious allegations going in the middle of it. Biggest deal of all time, dream deal that NFL players have been looking for forever. This has been talked about since the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
You're talking about like baseball players, guaranteed contracts, NBA players, guaranteed contracts, NFL players. When are we going to get a fucking guaranteed contract? The business minds, when are we going to be able to get this? This dude fucking gets it in the hardest conditions in the history of maybe negotiating. So this dude's a weapon. But this dude, Mulugeta, also has friends that he works alongside that know maybe people at this team or at this team, and they have the exact same operation. It's like there's some negotiations that it would be a bad decision if you didn't hire a fleet to help you get done, because the amount of money at the end of the day is worth the, there's a bite.
Yeah.
It's coming out. Still got a lot of fucking apple there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's still a lot of fucking apple there that's hanging out and changing generations and everything like that. So it's an interesting thing with the whole Lamar situation.
Well, and look what we just saw with Derek Carr. Like, it was the same thing. Like, they're, his agent or whatever, and granted, it's a different situation and it's not as much money, but they were drumming up interest between, like, we heard after the fact, after he signed with the Saints, it was the Saints all along. He wanted to go there. They wanted him, but we were hearing the Jets, he was their number one target. We were hearing Carolina he drummed up kind of the same situation where it's like, hey, 3 different teams want me right now, so kind of who's going to give me the best offer?
Hey, it's a good spot to be in.
Absolutely.
And it is a great spot to be in.
Oh, yeah.
3 teams.
Because right now, the best player, the MVP, don't have not one team that's willing to go spend for him as what they're saying, which I think is a lie.
Oh, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a work. We thought this was a work, AJ, didn't we? We thought there was a chance this was all a work.
Yeah, we thought so. Of course, you would like to get if you're Lamar, you want to put out the impression, hey, I have like 5 teams bidding on my services, so hey, you better come to the table.
Guy Connor.
Or even just like a simple little, public State of the Union, like you said. Like, remember Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray's agent, a few days before sent something out via Schefter, and he misspelled Chose's, but he still sent something out to let everyone know, like, hey, this is what Kyler, he loves winning.
That was towards the end of the thing, too, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, Chose's, right?
So much.
Right, and they didn't just say, like, hey, Kyler Murray wants this, he's committed. They legitimately went back, explained the growth of the Arizona Cardinals with how much they've won before he was there and how much they've won since he's been there. And if you were to do that with Lamar, like, yeah, it's been pretty fucking different, because after Flacco, got his massive contract, so that they'll pay the quarterback if he earned it. After they paid Flacco that massive contract, they kind of fell off. And then what do? They said, all right, we got Lamar Jackson. He's one of one. We're going to get 3 tight ends. We're going to make our entire team built around Lamar Jackson. And then now that they're up to this point where it's, pay Lamar Jackson, the guy that you've built your team around, the only reason your team has really been worth a shit, because they were the number 1 seed up until he got hurt. He's the only quarterback, and this happened this year against the Dolphins, to throw for a 75-yard touchdown and rush for a 75-yard touchdown in the same game. So it's like there's no public PR for him, and that's why it feels like for us talking about it every day, like we said, like riding the wave. There's never going to be a day where we're like, man, Lamar finally came out and he's won this day. It's always going to be the Ravens.
Remember, we did this. We did this when the NFL and the NFLPA were negotiating the most recent CBA.
Yes.
I actually, there was almost a little shit that got started actually because from what that was like our first dabble.
Was.
In like maybe some, shit.
Yeah.
Like realizing the show people listen to it because Maziano and others on ESPN every single morning whenever the negotiations were happening between the NFL and the NFLPA, he had information coming to him from clearly the NFL side.
Yes.
Which is his job, by the way. And if that's the information he's getting, like, it's his duty to fucking say it. And he was saying it every morning, and all you heard people say was, these players are so fucking spoiled.
Yeah.
These players are what? And we were saying, like, hey, listen, NFLPA, if you have any reason for why you're not accepting, so there has to be some shit that you're saying no to this for. Like, it makes no sense. We were actually saying publicly, like, let us know, okay? We'd appreciate it. And we could hopefully, like, maybe get some of your shit out there. It's a real thing because I don't know if as many teams would be as interested, but if teams start hearing that other teams are interested, and then their suspicions are like, yep. Okay, if they're okay, we are.
Our fan base is going to go crazy if we don't make an attempt to get this guy. Like, all of that plays a factor.
There's a lot of cooking that could happen here, I think. You know what I mean? We still got a lot of days, but there's a lot of cooking that could happen. Pac, how do you feel?
I just don't. I agree with what you said, but I just don't figure out how Atlanta is not going crazy right now. Because
like Falcons fans?
Yeah, because when I went home last night, it was all over my tweet. Like, hey, man, I heard it, I loved it. But coming back, listening to all of this, you got to get somebody in there that can go and play the game, man. Because you look at Ricky Williams, he had fucking Master P. That shit did not work out. And nothing against Master P.
No, business. He's getting his business.
Yeah, he's great in his business.
His business.
You get what I'm saying?
D-Hop said yesterday, hey, I'm making sure I hired a guy. I'm making sure
you buy a house, you're going to get like a realist to go through all the fucking papers because they know what it is.
Yes.
Like there's no bad business in being like, hey, there's only a select amount of people that are really good at doing this type of business, which is what the fucking NFL is.
Right. That's me trying to put this brick over here together. I don't know how to put no fucking brick together. Guess what I do? I call a motherfucker who know how to put the brick together. With my banking.
Yeah, you delegate.
I
delegate.
I do my own banking, but I don't know shit about stocks and bonds. So guess what I do? I go and hire a motherfucker that's the best at doing stocks and bonds. I think the same thing need to go on with the agent. Nothing against trying to do it, all in, but you got to have somebody that can go and call different teams when the season's still going on. Hey, look, he's going to be available next year.
Yeah, it's early work, and these are seeds being planted. Like, it's just all that type of shit that kind of pops up. Because and once again, I take a lot of pride in the fact that I represent us and have done pretty good thus far. I've done pretty good thus far. There's been some misses for sure. We've made some places, gone to some things that are like, this one wasn't what we thought. But always very open communication with the people, which is the biggest part of business. And I think that's why I am not able to do every type of business because you got to have somebody on those phones, like almost. Like that's a massive part of being an agent is like communicating. Like, hey, this is where we're at. This is what we're thinking. This is what we're doing. You thinking anything? No? Okay, cool. I also got this guy that I do business with. He's thinking this. We're thinking that. You thinking anything? No? Cool. All right, I'll talk to you next week or whatever, man. And then, I got this guy to talk about this. What's going on? What's going on with blah, blah, blah? I think he's coming back. Yeah, he's healthy and everything. Like all that type of bullshitting. That's bullshitting. That's like agenting. That is agenting, And it all kind of comes to a head here in Indianapolis during Combine Week. It's like all of the Zoom calls or the voice memos that are happening, or the text messages. All that comes to like the Combine. There's a lot of shit that's already been boom, 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 already set up to get there. It's a lot of bullshit. I don't like doing the bullshit. I enjoy representing myself. If I had somebody doing the bullshit, or if I did more bullshit, our business would probably look vastly different from a finance to show part of it all. But it's like that's all a part of the NFL and how the NFL does business because shit happens. And I feel like he's missing out, and it's a lot of fucking money.
It's
a lot of fucking money, man.
Well,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's
like
a
you
lot.
said too. Like, so if he has an agent, and then we go back to Atlanta and they're involved, like you don't think Carolina immediately gets involved? It's like, hey, this is a team in our division.
in
We
our
need
division.
a quarterback as well. Like we cannot let that happen, or at least we have to get in the sweepstakes and maybe try to woo him a little bit. Like if you have a guy. I'm not so sure that we wouldn't be hearing 7 to 8 teams that are interested.
I'm fascinated by it because we don't even know what this deal is going to look like.
No.
Lamar might win.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a chance
Yeah.
that all this is bullshit, and Lamar and his mom, over the next 8 days or however long this is allowed to take place, sit back and a $240 million deal comes
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And Lamar, just like he did whenever they told him to go play wide receiver, and him and his mom said, nah, I'm going to play quarterback. Just like they had that. There's a chance that could happen. There's a chance that could
Absolutely.
still happen right now, which is awesome to think about. But looking on, I think we're all a little bit weary. Like, this doesn't seem as great as we